I don't want to build a business that's built on hustle. This quarter, I chose one goal. It is incredibly manageable. Why would you want to build a business that's just going to trap you? I mean, that does not sound appealing. There is a better way, not just building a business that survives, but that you would build and that you would have a business that thrives and that you wouldn't feel guilty about making more money than you ever have, because then you have even more choices. Fewer goals are better. So every year we meet as a team, we plan our year out, and then we do the same thing every quarter. We look at our goals, we adjust if needed. And I've realized I used to take on 10 goals a year. I remember at one point I had like 25 goals for the entire year. And it's so hard because you've got the whirlwind. And the whirlwind is like our day-to-day, like the stuff that you just got to do. And then they call them wigs. Wigs are what's the one or the two things if we were to do this year that would really help scale the business or just do something massive for the business that's outside of our like day-to-day stuff. So I used to have all the day-to-day stuff, but then I would have like all of these goals for the whole year, and I might make progress on some of them, but there's a pretty good chance that I don't complete any of them because I'm spreading myself all over the place. This year has been a year of refinement for myself, and this quarter, I chose one goal. It is incredibly manageable, and I don't feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like I'm biting off more than I can chew. I think it's great to have really big goals, big, hairy, audacious goals, BHAGs. I think it's good to have those, to dream about that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, when I look at, the end of this year, without me having to work 60 hours a week, what can I get done? What can I get done in a day's time, in a week's time, in a quarter's time, times 4 quarters? Realistically, like what could I get done? And if I'm not writing those things down and building out, starting with the end in mind and building out backwards, like, okay, like how will I get there? By doing that, I'm really able to see, can I accomplish this? And then the other part that's so beautiful in all of this is if I were by myself, it would be so much harder to accomplish those 1 or 2 goals. But the fact that I have a team that holds me accountable, a team that I report to, I say like, here's where I'm at. Are you on track or off track, Ryan, this week with your goals for this quarter? I mean, to say I'm off track a couple of weeks in a row is kind of embarrassing, because I'm wanting to hold them accountable to their goals. And if I'm not doing what I said I was going to do, why should they do what they said they're going to do? So it kind of creates this healthy accountability and forces me to say, okay, maybe I'm scrambling this week to get my thing done that's going to get me closer to completing this goal. But it's such a better feeling. It's such a more healthy feeling to not look at this list of 10 things that I want to accomplish by the end of the year and think like, oh my gosh, get halfway through the year and think, okay, I really got to turn it up so I can get all these things done, and then get to the last quarter and it's like, oh man, I got to hustle even more. I don't want to build a business that's built on hustle. First few years, I had to hustle to try to figure out what the heck I wanted to do, try to figure out how I was going to make money. There's a lot of hustling involved, but a strategic hustle in mind of knowing that it wasn't sustainable for me to work that many hours. As we were going to have kids, I didn't want to have to work. I wanted Andrew to be able to be home with our kids, but I wanted to be home with our kids. I want to see our kids grow up. That was something that I didn't get to experience growing up, and I wanted to give that gift to my kids. And if they didn't see it as a gift, I at least knew or have known that it'll be a gift for me. That looking back, once my kids are all out of school and doing whatever they're going to do, be amazing humans, hopefully out in the world, that I'm going to say like, man, what a gift that I got to spend all the time that I got with them. If I had the same schedule that I did for the first 3 years of running a business, I'd be regretting a lot of stuff right now. So my hope for you is that you can create a business that you don't feel like you've got to constantly be hustling, but that you have a plan for, hey, at this point in my career. Here's where I want to be. This is how many hours I want to be working. This is the kind of revenue we need to be making. This is what I want to be taking home for my salary. And this is who I want to be working with. These are the kind of clients that we want to have. For you to be able to think through that stuff and have a plan for how you're going to get there, instead of always being stuck inside of the business or the whirlwind and not feeling like you've got any extra time to take a vacation, to think about your business, to work on your business. That's the worst place that you can be, where you're just always in the business. I've met so many business owners, people we've hired to work on our house, our vehicles, friends that own businesses that don't have capacity as a business owner. They don't have the capacity because they're doing all of the things. They're not intentional about taking time to say, what would it look like to hire a bookkeeper or to hire an assistant who could follow up with all of these leads and set up, maybe have a day where I'm talking to people on the phone versus answering every single time because it might be a potential client. Those are the people that we can't vacation with. Those are the people that don't feel like they have any freedoms. And why would you want to build a business that's just going to trap you? I mean, that does not sound appealing. There is a better way. And I hope that if you haven't found it, or that you're not on track for that, or you don't feel like you're on track for that this upcoming year, you will gain traction and momentum for that kind of life and that kind of business where you have choice and you have freedom and you have bandwidth and you have surplus, right? Not just building a business that survives, but that you would build and that you would have a business that thrives, and that you wouldn't feel guilty about making more money than you ever have, because then you have even more choices.